Downtown Tacoma, Oklahoma. It's not very busy. There's not a lot of foot traffic here. But let's see what we can find. Hey everybody, my name is Shane Fitzsimmons and this is News Traveler. Join me as we cover topics ranging from local happenings and national headlines. The big news in the media today centers on a dusty border town in Eagle Pass, Texas. National Guard members have, under the control of Governor Greg Abbott, seized Shelby Park, a hotspot for legal border crossings. I went for myself to actually see what's happening in Eagle Pass, but on the way, I thought it was important to document the thoughts of Americans who live far from the border but have strong opinions about what is happening there. The first installment of this series, we will make our way from Appleton, Wisconsin to Dubuque, Iowa, and see what is happening there together. This snowy landscape may seem a far cry from the desert environment of the U.S.-Mexico border. In fact, a full 1,500 miles separates Appleton, Wisconsin from Eagle Pass, Texas, the epicenter of current events at the border. This photojournalist decided to make the trip to understand what is actually happening in the small border town. On the way, he talked to Americans who live all across the middle of our country to understand their thoughts on the matter. The first stop. We're on Main Street, Dubuque, Iowa. This is about as middle of America as you can get. So it'll be interesting to see what some people that live in this area have to say about their thoughts on what's going on down at the Texas-Mexico border.
All these illegal immigrants, all these, whatever, they won't give them cell phones, we're giving them free education, we're letting them stay in hotels and everything.
They're trying to stand up for their own state, and I think the federal government is trying to prevent them from that.
Texas is the front line, so they've got to deal with it somehow. But there's the right way to do things and a wrong way to do things.
How many possible terrorists are we letting in here?
A lot of scuttle in the media about making this a campaign policy point.
I mean, our gates are wide open.
I think, it's a problem that we need to reform through legislation.
I just think we've got to get control of the border.
Because Iowa is a Republican state, and their governor did sign the letter of support for Texas, these Iowans may have a vested interest on what's going on down there.
Sending our National Guard even down there to help if they're willing to go and it doesn't affect us here, I'm all for that.
But if it's in defiance of the Supreme Court's decision to take down barbed wire or razor wire that's potentially leading to the death of migrants, I don't think that's okay.
As expected, I found mixed reactions in Dubuque, Iowa. Such a controversial issue is bound to divide people. Follow along as we travel to other cities across America and try to understand how we feel about the current border crisis. That was a very interesting experience. I think we can all agree that this is a complex topic. No one answer is likely to fix the issue. We live in a society that is polarized and filled with folks unwilling to compromise. I hope, that if we take a little bit of time to actually hear each other out, we may find that we have more in common than we think. One thing I think we can agree on is that nothing beats a glass of iced tea. Let's take a moment to hear from one of our sponsors. Some drink companies need a huge production to advertise their products. Snowboarding off a mountain with helicopters while being chased by lions? Milo's can shoot a commercial in your kitchen with a cell phone. Want to know why? It's good. Milo's iced tea. It's good. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Special thanks to my production crew here at NWTC. I hope you'll join me next week when we travel to Des Moines, Iowa, and see what we can learn there together. Until next time, thanks.
I'm ready. Hello, I'm Mikey. Today I'm going to be going over how to connect your snowboard bindings to your board. Along with that, I will explain my gear a little bit and what goes into the gear. I've been riding here in Wisconsin since I was about 12, getting me close to having 10 years of riding experience. So I just want to make sure that you know how to correctly mount your bindings, since you don't want them to come loose, because trust me, that is not fun. So to begin with, I ride the Falcors, the Union bindings, or from Union. There are a bunch of different types of bindings, varying stiffness and the way they ride, but these bindings ride a 7 out of 10 stiffness, but they have these like little mini disc plates that have some more play in them, so gives you a little bit more play on the mountain, stuff like that. Most beginners will be put in a softer gears. This gives them some more play, and it's not such a snappy feeling, which sometimes makes it harder for beginners. Same thing goes for boots. There are different styles and stiffnesses of boots, but each boot varies how it fits. So because of that, I recommend trying a couple different brands of boots and seeing which fits your boot the best. So let's get into figuring out how you want to mount this snowboard. Eat that. First, you got to figure out if you want to ride down the hill regular or goofy, the opposite way. It doesn't really matter which foot you choose. If you've ridden like a skateboard or anything like that before, you can choose to ride that way. Other than that, doesn't really matter. From there, you kind of just want to figure out your natural stance. So I kind of like penguin a little bit, so my legs are out. So I choose to angle my feet out a little bit. Gives me more of a sense of direction down the hill as well. Whatever feels most comfortable. You're also gonna widen out your legs just over your shoulders and your hips, making sure they're nice and level, and then basically just mount them there. So before we do that though, we're gonna take a look from our sponsors. So we can take a look at that. This video is sponsored by Union Bindings. They specialize in creating bindings for every type of rider on the mountain. They focus specifically on bindings, which makes them one of the best companies on the market for bindings. This is because they have all of their time and dedication to focus on bindings, unlike some other companies offering many other products. The binding we will focus on today is the Union Ultras, a great binding for all around the mountain. It has reactive dampening, which helps with reducing the impact on the feet when you are riding on rougher terrain or landing from jumps. Along with that, they feature their Forma X ankle straps, which really help you lock down into this binding in a nice, comfortable way. The 515 high back that is offered on this binding is also a very nice soft high back, but also has some stiffness to it, which makes it a nice playful binding for people using them throughout the whole mountain. The binding also includes a stage 11 base plate, which will help even more increase the comfort across the mountain. These bindings are very comfortable with all the technology packed into them, but also perform very well throughout the whole mountain. These bindings can be found on Union's website for $299.99, which is a very good price for these bindings. Also, they offer them in many different color variations. Make sure you check these guys out before your next trip out on the mountain. Thanks. All right, so thank you for that video from Union. Now I'm going to kind of explain how we mount the binding actually onto the board. So if you have a traditional style board, what you're going to do is you're going to use these 4 holes here. If you have a channel board like mine, which only has 2 holes, then we're just going to use these 2 side holes like they're labeled on here. So basically you set this disc in there to the angle that you wanted, like we were speaking about before. So I ride about a 15 degrees, so we'll put that in there at our 15-degree angle. Slap it on our channel thingies, and we'll get screwing away then. Like I said, you want to make sure these things are nice and tight, as you don't want them coming loose. You
can get some gnarly knee injuries doing that. Otherwise, you can also scratch your board up, as you can kind of see on my board. I've had it happen a few times. So make sure you get these things nice and tight. And yeah, then you'll be ready to rock. So go ahead to the second binding. Make sure you do the same thing. Get it nice and tight. Don't want it slipping on there. Go ahead and do the same thing. Make sure she's nice and tight. And yeah, from there, all you want to do is basically, if you have a binding that you put a top mount on, you can put your top mount on, but if not, you can leave it. Then you just want to make sure you do a nice wiggle, get no shaking in there. Make sure it's not going to come loose on you while you're riding down the hill, because that is the last thing you want. But yeah, other than that, we'll come back to you next week and show you how to mount into them. So we are all set then.
Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cornelius and welcome to Oneida Community Updates. Today I'm going to be informing you about the Oneida Farmers Market. The Oneida Farmers Market, believe it or not, is a farmers market where anyone can stop by and shop for local goods from local vendors. Now what sets this farmers market apart from others is the Native American produce and products that they have to offer. With a large handful of community members coming out every week to sell their own handmade crafts, clothing, and even my own mother's out there every week selling her baked breads and cookies. And what really makes the market special is the community it gathers. It's always a joy to be out there in the summertime, under the sun. There's always cool stuff to shop for, and there's always good food to eat. And I brought here with me today some jewelry that my mother purchased from the market. I have here a pendant and 3 pairs of earrings. The first pair is of a white Pendleton pattern on a heart-shaped earring. Second piece is a floral bronze design with nice beadwork. And I can't open this last one because it's sealed. But we have a flowing design. It goes from black to blue, down to dark blue. And the last one is a pendant with a pendant with a prismatic piece in the middle. That looks real nice. That one's my favorite. These designs are all by Duane Richmond, a seller at the Oneida Market. These are just a few small examples of the kinds of things you can find while you're browsing over there. And now I'd like to talk about the origins of the market. William Ververt works for Oneida as an integrated food system coordinator. Don't ask me what that means because I have no idea. What he also does is he coordinates and manages the Oneida Farmers Market. William, who goes by Bill, is the man who founded the market many, many years ago, and he still runs it to this day. He's clearly very passionate about the health and well-being of his community. Now, I was able to secure a short interview with Mr. Ververt with just a few simple questions about how the market came to be and how things are going. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that.
We started in 2002 in the parking lot of a office building here in Oneida, and we had 3 vendors and 50 customers. Last year in 2023, we averaged 39 vendors and 550 customers. We'll be going on our 22nd year this year. What really sets us apart are the Native American products that we have, ribbon, shirts, jewelry, things like that. So that's something you're not going to find at pretty much any other farmer's market. I actually started it back in 2002 and have been the manager ever since.
So what kind of impact has the market had on the community?
Oh, I think it has a huge impact actually. When we started the market, we started it for 2 reasons. One, you obviously get healthy fruits, vegetables, local produce to the community. With a high rate of diabetes and obesity and heart disease, that was a priority number 1. The second part, which wasn't so successful, we wanted to have it so that encourage people to grow gardens in their backyard. And if they had access, they could come to the market and sell it. That's why we don't charge our vendors any fees. It's totally free to set up at our market. We did that because we were hoping to encourage community members to grow and then sell excess at our market. Not quite so successful as the market itself. We had a couple people that have done it and continue to, but not near as many as we really were hoping. Yeah, some of our vendors have been with us for 18, 20 years. Yeah. There is actually in 2023, this year, we're going to be moving across the street from the Highway 54 one-stop here in Oneida. Really nice lot, actually. High visibility by that roundabout. We're doing that because they're doing construction where we have been. And there's talk of building a indoor-outdoor farmers market here in the business park, along with a cannery and, other things like that. So good things coming down the road.
What did I say? The man is very passionate. Bill states that he and his group started the Oneida Market back in 2002, so that the community could have better access to healthier foods and encourage home gardening, which is incredible. I don't have a home garden of my own, but that would be real nice. By the way, I was born in 2002, so It's amazing that this incredible community event has been continuing for 22 years, which is about the span of my life. Bill speaks very ambitiously about the future of the market, which is wonderful. I can only imagine what they have in store for the future with that indoor-outdoor plan. With a building like that, the market could run year-round, which would be amazing. Not only would it provide a potentially decent income for some vendors, but it would also create a year-round event and activity for friends and family and members of the community. That'd be great. The market has a lot of potential for growth, and I'm excited to see where it goes in the future. For now, it seems they're just going to continue to operate outdoors. It brings us to our advertisement. Today's episode is brought to you by, believe it or not, the United Farmers Market. The market opens on the third Thursday of June every year and goes all the way up until the first Thursday in October. It'll be located on Seminary Road across from the Highway 54 gas station, which is about 5 miles west of Green Bay. It's open from noon to 6 p.m. every Thursday during the summertime, and anyone can stop by. It's not just for Oneidas. So please, stop by, spend some time at the market, bring cash, because I'm not sure a lot of vendors take cards. And thank you, Oneida, for sponsoring today's episode. And to finish off here, the Oneida Market is not only a great place to shop from the local community, it's overall just a great experience for families and friends. It's a community. My mother describes it as a family because she is a vendor there. I know she's made a lot of friends and a lot of memories there. And thank you for watching today's episode of Oneida Community Updates. And I hope whatever we cover next is interesting. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to Live with Daryl. I'm your host, Daryl. Today I'm going to talk about a previous project I worked on for another class. It was conducting interviews with mothers of all different various stages of parenthood. As a full-time student, I also am a mom of 2 toddlers. And as I mentioned, I conducted interviews with moms of all various stages of parenthood, one being a mom to adults, one being a mom of just one, and then an expecting mom of a toddler as well. So today I'll be recapping the interview I did with the mom of the adults, and she's also my boss and mentor, Michelle. So for context, Michelle has 3 children, all adults. 2 of them play collegiate hockey. And for context, her daughter plays hockey at Norwich University in Vermont and her son at Lawrence University in Wisconsin. She gives us some inside detail about what it's like being a mother to children who no longer live under her roof.
So the one thing that was really hard was that you're not there when they're having a bad day. So normally if your kids are having a bad day, and be like, come on in, give me a hug. And honestly, you can't hug them. The best you can do is listen and try to give them the best advice that you can. And hopefully, that's enough, because it's I can't even imagine how challenging it truly is to be away, and you're already dealing with this. So as an athlete for any game, there's all these like ups and downs. So you're in this game, or you're in these high pressure games, and the dopamine is just going crazy in your head, and you're just kind of on this natural, like stressful, sort of cool, it's awesome, or we lose, it sucks kind of path. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I got to do homework, I got to do this other stuff, or I had a bad game. And so like that emotional roller coaster kind of takes a toll on your psyche. So that would be the one part that I would say is probably the hardest when you're away from the kids, is to try to keep them on that even keel of just your emotions. The hockey is great, but the education is actually more important. So both of them are at a Division III school getting an amazing education, and in the end, that is what it's all about. It's all about that education, and then just the foundational pieces to know that they can go on and be better people. On the other hand, I have Isabel, who was not an athlete, but she's unbelievably a talented artist. And so she graduated school, and she's decided like, hey, I'm just going to work for a couple of years, and I just want to kind of hang out. And then, hopefully my dream for her is that she'll go back to school and pursue her art in some sort of like degree that would take her into a position in the future that she would actually thrive at.
Is that she's there for her children, even thousands of miles away. For me, as a daughter, I still lean on my mom and my mother-in-law for advice in every aspect of life. So it's just great to see that she's still there, and I can only imagine how hard it is to be a parent from miles and miles away. So before we continue, this segment is sponsored by Big Bear Media. Big Bear Media specializes in multimedia, from printing, mailing, journalism, graphic design, tourism. Big Bear Media is located across from NWTC at 2701 West Mason Street. During the interview, Michelle and I discussed a lot about core memories from her children and my childhood. I shared a core memory that I talked about with her about traveling with my family and my brother growing up. My parents made it a point to travel a lot outside of the reservation in Wisconsin. So Michelle shares a story about her children. Let's take a listen.
I think for me, when I look back at the kids, so my kids didn't grow up with cell phones, and Huey got a cell phone when he was about 12 years old, I think. I think all of them got cell phones when they were around like 12, 13 years old. So one of my favorite memories, and Hugh's not in that memory, but it was Madison and Isabel. And Madison had a little friend, his name was Antonio, and they were inseparable. And they had to be about like 7 or 8 years old, inseparable. And when they got up in the morning, when it was the weekends, they would take off on their bikes and they'd just be gone. So this one day, we had this, it seems like a lot of people have like the little portable, like the basketball hoop, that you can adjust up and down. So one day I had actually videotaped it because it is pretty funny. They were outside, and Antonio had the portable basketball hoop pushed over to the side, and Madison was holding on to the rim. And he was trying to push this portable basketball hoop back so Madison would go flying up and like hang on the rim. But she was too heavy, so he kept doing it, and Isabel's out there in her like non-matching pajamas, and she's like this little tiny thing. And it was so funny because he kept saying, no, don't help. And then she was like, oh, I'll help. And then all of a sudden they pushed her up, and here Madison's hanging on the rim. And then she jumps down and she's like, all right, Antonio, it's your turn. And he saw like, that's not going to work. But they had to go outside and actually be creative with whatever we had in the garage or outside. And I think those were my most favorite memories because they were they were just outside having fun. And the dirtier you were when you came home, the better I knew that your day was.
Next, I asked Michelle if she had any advice for mothers or mothers-to-be, and she shares a story that happened recently in her life that changed her perspective of how she handles advice when her children come to her.
So my best piece of advice would be to listen. And it took me a long time to learn to listen. Because as a mom, you always want to fix things. You always want, they come home and they're upset. And I'll give you an example. So, and I learned this actually from a friend of mine who is one of my good friends. And Madison called. She was at school. She was all upset. And so as she starts talking about stuff, I want to jump in and be like, well, think about it like this, or, you want to fix the problem. And my friend reached over and grabbed my arm, and she put her finger, and she was like, shh, just let her talk. And that was one of the biggest things, was just to kind of let them talk, and then just let them know that you were listening to them. Or, you do the, okay, yep, or if they stop talking, ask them a question, because you have to get to the root of the problem, because whatever they're talking about may not be the actual problem. And so it took me a really long time to actually just learn how to listen. And that was probably the best thing that I could have ever learned in my lifetime, was just to listen.
I love that story because it happened recently in her life, and she is still learning ways to become an even better mom. My 3-year-old is currently learning how to regulate his feelings and emotions, and one thing that I have learned is to take time and listen and understand that he is learning these feelings for the very first time, and he also cannot regulate his emotions like I as an adult can. When he is feeling frustrated or angry, he does not know how to cope, and it's better to let him feel that emotion and let him know that it's okay to feel that emotion, but also help him feel secure and heard. Adding to what Michelle said, sometimes people just need to vent and not have a lecture, especially when they are upset. I believe that can go for anyone in life. It's always better to just listen. So that is it for now. I thank you for joining, and I will see you soon.
So it looks like there's a new plan for Spider-Man 4. But first, to our sponsor, Marvel Unlimited. Marvel is a subscription to 30,000 Marvel comics. A fun fact, it's not just all Marvel comics. The company also has made Star Wars comics that you have access to. So once you go to their website at www.marvel.com/unlimited and signed up, you only need to do your basic card information stuff and start your week free trial from different subscriptions. Or go to their website and choose from their subscription plans, and then you'll have access to the Marvel comics. Or you can go to their website, www.marvel.com/Marvel Unlimited, or you can use their app, Marvel Unlimited. But now back to our segment. So it looks like the MCU, if you didn't know, is not been doing so well with box office successes, with their latest flop being the Marvels really coming out a couple of months ago. But now there seems to be new reports for planned for Spider-Man 4. Sony and Marvel have two different ideas for the plot of the movie. Marvel wants to build up their street-level story with Spider-Man teaming up with Daredevil to fight Kingpin, while Sony, on the other hand, wants to replicate the success of Spider-Man No Way Home and bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans. Both ideas sound interesting and have their pros and cons. There are people who want the studios to embrace Spidey saving people from criminals of New York City, just like in the comics. But then again, seeing the Marvel, the Spider Trio team up again would also be something exciting to see. But we may end up seeing both things, both ideas being used, but Sony stands to earn more money from Spider-Man 4 than the next two Avengers films, which is why Sony wants to bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans. Last month, it was reported that the current plan is to make Kingpin mayor and outlaw vigilantism. In New York City, he targets the level do-gooders like Spider-Man and Daredevil. But to take them down, he establishes a bounty hunt where several villains pop up, with Kate Bishop, Echo, and Jessica Jones rumored to appear. I think they could do both, and the studios may very well do that, and they should, as it would do two things. In my opinion, embrace the street level of aspect of Spidey and build up the Spider-Verse in a way. But with both studios' track records with the MCU releasing flops out the bag like the Marvels, and Sony have Craven and Manuel, which are stirring up controversy and getting mixed reviews. Both studios need to win, but the MCU more than ever. But we will see what happens in the next coming months. But this is where the state of Spider-Man 4 is in terms of plot and what the studio plans to do with it. But in other news, the MCU's biggest flop is coming to Disney Plus this week. As we know, recently Disney Plus has become the ultimate streaming platform for MCU fans, and them adding movies like the Fox X-Men and Deadpool and etc. Now they're expanding their library once again, although this shouldn't surprise anyone. The Marvels is now being added to Disney Plus this week. February 7th, which is Wednesday of this week, is when the movie is coming to Disney Plus. So if you want to check it out, February 7th is the day for it to come to Disney Plus. But to add to that, you may be wondering why it flopped so hard. There have been several YouTube videos surrounding this and why it flopped, and I'll let the viewers go and watch those videos and let them explain why it flopped so hard, and if you know, you know. The movie opened November 10th, 2023, and its box office numbers were not that good, only making $46 million domestically, which if you compare that to its predecessor, Captain Marvel, which made $4.26.8 million in the United States and Canada, and $7.16 million in other territories, and for a worldwide total of $1.128 billion. Now, I may not have liked Captain Marvel that much, but for reasons that most people who have seen that movie should know. But anyway, that's a big decrease between the two films. Still don't believe me? Well, let's compare it to two other flops one of them coming out the same year. That's right, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and The Incredible Hulk from 2008, which, like the Marvels, their opening weekends had less than 60 million. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania only made $4.6.1 million worldwide, and The Incredible Hulk from 2008 made $264.8 million worldwide. So there's one of several answers to the question why the Marvels flopped. Now I will mention that I haven't seen this movie yet, but I will check it out at some point. Now to our next segment. Pedro Pascal is in talks with playing Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, for Fantastic Four. Pedro Pascal was recently in The Last of Us, a TV show adaptation of the video game, and he played in other roles like The Mandalorian and Game of Thrones. Although this wouldn't be the first time the actor has been in a superhero project, in late December 2020, he was in the sequel to 2017's Wonder Woman 1984. which was not a good sequel. This movie is set to be directed by Matt Shockman, who directed WandaVision, and there have been several adaptations of the Fantastic Four. The first in 2005 with Chris Evans, Jessica Alba, Michael Chiklis, and Ian Grufford. It had a sequel with Silver Surfer, and then after that, we all know that Chris Evans went on to go to play Captain America in the MCU. Then Fantastic Four was rebooted and recasted. In 2015 was the most recent adaptation with Michael B. Jordan, Kate Mara, Miles Teller, and Jamie Bell as its new stars. But it seems like they have done it again. Well, this would be Mr. Fantastic's third recast, as in 2022, John Krasinski played Reed Richards in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness and was killed off. Now they've recasted him, possibly recast him again with Pedro Pascal, but it doesn't end there, as Mila Kunis is set to play Sue Storm, aka Wonder Woman, but for years, many fans suggested Emily Blunt play Sue Storm. But Pedro Pascal has a busy slate, with him being an undisclosed role in the sequel to Gladiator with Ridley Scott as its director. Then more shooting for another season of the hit HBO series The Last of Us, and the Fantastic Four movie is set to release May 2nd, 2025. Now to our last segment. This one's going to be a sad one. Carl Weathers on February 1st, 2024 passed away. The famed actor passed away in his sleep, and he played in many roles, such as Predator and the Rocky movies. His most recent was in Star Wars, as he played Greef Karga in The Mandalorian. The actor was born on January 14th, 1948. Before becoming an actor, he was a linebacker in the NFL during the Oakland Raiders, and then turned to acting. He starred as Apollo Creed in the Rocky films with Sylvester Stallone, and then played in 1987's Predator. He also starred in several other films like 1988's Action Jackson, and played in Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler in 1996. Then, years later in 2019, he would go on to play Greef Karga in The Mandalorian. Well, Carl Weathers will be missed. R.I.P. to him. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this segment. Hope you enjoyed it and possibly learned something. And now to our short break, and we'll see you again next time.
Hey there, pet lovers. Have you ever considered about adding a furry friend to your family? Well, today's we got a fantastic suggestion for you. The adorable guinea pig. These compassionate animals are loving and caring and would make a wonderful pet. And they're not as high maintenance as a dog or a cat. Stick around as we explore the world of guinea pig care. You'll need for your guinea pig is a comfy home. Guinea pig cages come in various styles, from CNC cages and wood cages and more. But remember, the minimum cage size is 7.5 square feet. Though we highly recommend you going bigger, like a spacious 16 square foot cage or more. Guinea pigs love to explore and play, so give them the room to roam. Many pet stores will suggest you to get a smaller cage than recommended. Those cages are wonderful travel cages. However, they're not suitable for your guinea pig's long-term cage. Next up is bedding. There are many different choices when it comes to bedding. Not all beddings are equal. Wood shavings are common, might not be the best choice though. They can irritate your guinea pig's respiratory system that can lead to other health issues. Consider alternatives like unbleached white paper pellets and pine pellet litter. Blankets and fabrics work wonderful as bedding as long as you're willing to train your pet or to train your guinea pig to go to the bathroom in a designated area. Guinea pigs don't usually overeat, but it is important to provide the proper balance of pellets, hay, and fresh vegetables. Like human beings, guinea pigs cannot make their own vitamin C, so they require vitamin C foods in their daily diet. Inadequate vitamin C can lead to weakened immune systems, abnormal bone and tooth development and growth, and delayed wound healing. An inadequate diet can also lead to obesity, dental issues, and bladder stones. 3 main aspects of guinea pig's diet is grass, hay, vegetables, and pellets. 80% of guinea pigs' diet should come from fresh grass hay. Guinea pigs need continuous access to aid their digestion and limit growth of their teeth. For guinea pigs, alfalfa hay provides more calcium for growing bones if they're under a year. Vegetables should be offered at least once a day, every day. In total, it should add up to half a cup. Some vegetables that you could give your guinea pigs are lettuce, romaine, cabbage, bell peppers, and kale. When looking for pellet food for your guinea pig, look for high vitamin C and no seeds or added dry fruit every day. Every day for your guinea pig, it should come up to 1/8 of a cup of pellets. Treats. Who doesn't love giving your animals treats? Some common treats are dried strawberries and bananas, Timothy biscuits, and pea flakes. Come to Petco with me. Petco has everything you need for your animals. They have stuff for aquatic fish, saltwater and freshwater, and even reptiles and amphibians. They also have small animal stuff too. Come to Petco for your animal needs. Last but not certainly least, enrichment. Guinea pigs are social animals and they benefit greatly from interactive toys that stimulate their natural behaviors. Toys like tunnels, hidey house, and huts can serve as a shelter and encourage a sense of security, allowing guinea pigs to exhibit their instinctual nesting behaviors. One fun toy you can create at home is using an empty toilet paper roll and putting hay inside of it. It is fun, easy, and gives your guinea pig fresh hay. Additionally, tunnels provide an opportunity for exploring and playing, promoting physical health activity that contributes to their overall health. So there you have it. Consider getting yourself a guinea pig at home. A low-maintenance, loving companion. Embrace the joys of guinea pig parenting. Happy treats tales, may your days be filled with squeaks and cuddles. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, happy guinea pig parenting.
Hello, and welcome to the Competitive History. This is the series where we look at the most popular esports titles or franchises of all time and go over their histories, major events, and other fun facts. In today's episode, we are going to be taking a look at one of the most iconic franchises in the entire history of video games, especially in the first-person shooter genre. This is the competitive history of the Call of Duty series. Now, before we get started, I wanted to give a big shout out to the sponsor of this episode, NWTC Esports. NWTC Esports is our college's first ever opportunity to compete against other colleges in the state and the country. Our state-of-the-art facility has everything that you need to get the competitive edge that you need against your competition. However, if competing against other colleges isn't your strong suit, we have casual hours that you can drop in, and you can just make some friends, chill, and just have a great time. Stop in room BT320 on the Green Bay campus, or visit our other locations at Marinette and Sturgeon Bay campuses as well. Thanks again to NWTC Esports for sponsoring this episode, and with that out of the way, let's start at the beginning.
Now, it should be no surprise that Call of Duty is as popular as it is as a competitive game, because Call of Duty as a whole is right up there with some of the most recognizable franchises of all time. With the very first Call of Duty game being released in November 2003, and as of November 2023, it recently just hit its 20th anniversary, meaning Call of Duty has been around for over 20 years. The game was developed by the studio Infinity Ward and published by Activision, which was critically acclaimed upon its release, as it was the most advanced World War II shooter game at the time of its release. Due to its success, Activision enlisted the help of developer Treyarch to develop and release the next game in the series in 2005. Since then, Activision has continued its infamous yearly tradition of releasing a new Call of Duty game, with the developers Infinity Ward and Treyarch alternating titles annually until 2014, when Activision inserted a third development studio, Sledgehammer Games, to frontline their own Call of Duty titles to help alleviate the pressure of biannual releases from Infinity Ward and Treyarch. With Sledgehammer Games now in rotation alongside Infinity Ward and Treyarch, this enabled Activision to be able to have a Call of Duty game annually every single year, while each dev studio has extra time to develop and polish their games. Now that the development history has been covered, now we can take a look at the community that surrounds the franchise, as well as how the franchise became the esports juggernaut that it is now today. Call of Duty is a very simple game by nature and design, as it is practically similar to pretty much any other first-person shooter on the market. With relatively simple movement and gun skill controls, its complexity is rooted in the different guns, maps, game modes, and different metas that span over each individual game in the series. Most titles in the franchise have very similar game modes that are played in each game's competitive rotation. Those being Search and Destroy, which involves attacking or defending a bomb site on the map, while each player on the team has one life, which are very similar to popular esports titles like CSGO or Rainbow Six Siege or Valorant, followed by Hardpoint, which is a King of the Hill style game mode where each team fights over a control point on the map, which rotates to a different spot on the map every minute. Each team usually has either 4 to 5 players depending on the title, and are played on a specifically curated set of maps. Typical scoring is a round-based best-of-3 style, with each round played on a different map/game mode. First team to 3 points wins the match. Now, competitive play only started gaining interest in 2007 with Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, which is the game that is credited for revitalizing the first-person shooter genre, as well as becoming the definitive gold standard for how an online multiplayer first-person shooter game is to be developed and progressed. With this title, players opted to using the system called Game Battles, a community-ran website where players would schedule and compete with other teams around the world. The Call of Duty series entered competitive play on a mass scale with Major League Gaming, also known as MLG, which was widely considered to be the most popular esports league of all time. Call of Duty debuted onto MLG during the 2008 and 2009 season. where tournaments for COD 4 as well as the most recent title, World at War, were being played for massive cash prizes. Many of the most legendary players to ever play in Call of Duty franchise history, such as Matthew Nadeshot Hag and Seth Scump Abner, entered the scene around the era of game battles in MLG. To the surprise of many players, 2011's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was cut from MLG's roster for the respective season. In its place, Activision hosted their own competitive event at the Call of Duty XP event, which was an in-person, open to the public event with a variety of Call of Duty related activities, such as being one of the first people to experience the brand new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer, running around a paintball arena recreation of Modern Warfare 2's iconic map Scrapyard, as well as the tournament for Modern Warfare 3, which came with a staggering prize pool of $1 million, which was one of the biggest prize pools for an esports event at the time. The following year, during the release of 2012's Black Ops 2, Activision announced the very first ever annual Call of Duty Championship event, a yearly event that once again featured a 7-digit prize pool, with many familiar teams like Team Envy, Optic Gaming, and FaZe Clan battling it out for fame and fortune. The Call of Duty Championship event managed to lay the groundwork for future Call of Duty leagues that the developer Activision would run, as during the life cycle of 2015's Black Ops 3, Activision announced that it would be acquiring the most popular franchise league of all time, MLG, and by subsidiary the Game Battles platform, for a whopping $46 million, in which MLG helped Activision form the Call of Duty World League. With a division system that echoed MLG's original structure, the Call of Duty World League offered pros and amateurs alike the opportunity to compete for cash prizes as well as other prizes. The Call of Duty World League ran through the 2016 season all the way through the 2019 season, as well as hosting massive events in places like Sydney, Australia, and Paris, France. The Call of Duty World League has cemented itself as the longest running as well as the most successful professional Call of Duty league in franchise history. However, in 2019, Activision announced they would be creating a new professional esports league called the Call of Duty League, or more commonly known as the CDL, which follows the model of other North American professional sports leagues by having a set of permanent city-based teams that compete in a similar manner to that of the NBA or NFL, in which each team plays each other for a chance at the playoffs, where the top 2 teams of the season face off in the CDL championships, once again for a 7-digit prize pool. Unfortunately, the CDL's debut 2020 season was forced to go online only due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and as a result needed a way to get people to watch the matches being played. With that in mind, Activision signed a contract with YouTube Gaming to have exclusive rights to stream the matches being played. Although it ended up being a controversial decision within the community, the CDL ended up having a successful very first season, as they had record watch time numbers across the entire season up until Grand Finals. In the present day, the CDL is still operating as the primary league for the Call of Duty franchise and is still pulling record-breaking viewership hours. And with Microsoft's recent acquisition of Activision and Blizzard, this also gave them the rights to the CDL and all active teams. So it will just be a matter of time before Call of Duty Esports pulls another big move in the world of competitive gaming and shakes up the entire competitive gaming landscape forever.
So now that we've looked at the history of Call of Duty Esports, I just wanted to share a couple of my thoughts on the franchise as a whole, as well as their competitive scene. Obviously, it goes without saying Call of Duty is probably a big part of everybody's lives, because pretty much this franchise has been going around for like 20 years. My very first time playing a Call of Duty game was playing Black Ops 1 Zombies after school with a bunch of my buddies, and then after, like, the very first COD I ever owned was Black Ops 2, and then I pretty much played like every single game in the franchise since. Made a lot of memories, especially made a lot of friends through that. So, if it wasn't for any of those memories, especially with my friends, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. So now, after that, the franchise is notorious for horribly competitive balancing. There's always a lot of cheesy weaponry, and pretty much how the community runs it is they ban a lot of the stuff So like you can't use certain guns, you can't use certain pieces of equipment. I feel like the pros take the issue of banning certain weapons a tad too far because in the current game's competitive state, Modern Warfare 3, in the current meta, there's only one usable assault rifle in the entire game because they just banned every single other one because apparently they're too good or something like that. This applies to a majority of the other games, but this is the extreme case that I found. By over-restricting content to use like this, it creates a lot of cases where only one or a few viable options for weaponry or equipment. Everybody's going to use the same thing pretty much every game, and it boils down to pretty much watching the exact same gameplay. So if I were to change anything when it comes to that, I want them to like maybe restrict a little bit less about like the certain pieces of equipment or weapons in the game. So like every game is like more variety, has more variety in it. Another issue I have with the current state of the Call of Duty competitive scene is the exclusive contract that the developers have made with YouTube Gaming for exclusive streaming of matches. From what I've researched, YouTube Gaming is notoriously an unpleasant viewing experience compared to sites like Twitch, especially when it comes to like viewership rewards, because most professional esports events nowadays, they'll give out like certain cosmetic rewards for tuning into these competitive matches and everything, and YouTube Gaming is pretty notoriously not great when it comes to like granting these viewership rewards. And in the previous 2022 season or 2023 season for last year's Call of Duty title, the developers actually made it so you can either watch on Twitch or YouTube to watch these matches and get your rewards. However, they went back to just going to YouTube Gaming for this current season, and in my opinion, it's just kind of stupid. In my opinion, when it comes to that, I feel a lot of players should have the opportunity to view these events on the preferred platform instead of being forced to view content on the platform that they don't like. There's a couple of other nitpicks, but overall, I feel like the competitive Call of Duty scene is in a fairly good spot, especially when it comes to like their viewership. It clearly is like one of the more popular esports titles going on right now, and if they can work out some of these kinks, I feel like Call of Duty can be very successful in the long run. And with that, I'm going to wrap up this episode of the competitive history here. Now, I did want to ask a couple questions for the viewers, maybe leave some comments or whatever. What do you think that the Call of Duty series can do to improve their viewing experience as well as their gameplay experience? Do you think that they should go back to the way that the Call of Duty World League handled their systems and everything, or do you feel like they're doing good the way that they're doing now? I hope that you enjoyed the show, and until the next episode, good luck and get those dubs.
Hi, and welcome to Creative Cooking. I'm your host, Patricia, and today we are going to make dumplings from scratch. And first things first, we're going to start off with the ingredients. And our ingredients are all-purpose flour, warm water, cornstarch, kosher salt, ground pork, green onion, 1 onion, and toasted cinnamon oil, ginger, garlic, soy sauce, black pepper, and cabbage. And first, we are going to start with the dough. So we want to grab 1 cup and 3/4 of all-purpose flour. So that's 1. And that's about 1 cup and 3/4. And now we want to add some cornstarch. You're going to add about 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. And then we're going to add some kosher salt, which is 1/2 tablespoon of kosher salt. And then we're going to add some warm water. So you will want to add 3/4 of warm water. And now you will want to mix it. And you want it to be very clumpy so that we get a really nice dough. Once it gets all clumpy, you can start using your hands and knead it up for about 3 to 8 minutes. If you think it's too clumpy, then you can add more water to it. And you want your dough to look like this, and make sure it springs up. And we're gonna leave it in here and let it rest for about 30 minutes to an hour. And now we are gonna start with the filling, which we'll start off with the green onions. And we want to cut them very thinly, not too big or too small. And you'll want to cut up to 3 green onions. Next, you'll have to cut about like a half a cup of onions, and make sure they're not too small but not too big either. Next, you'll cut a piece of ginger, just like half a piece of a ginger, and you want to cut them really small. And now I'm just taking off the skin. So next, you'll want to cut in a cabbage. Just cut this in half. And you want small pieces. So you just need about like a cup of cabbage. Next, you'll want 1 garlic, and you want to have them cut very small. And the garlic is gonna add some flavor into it, so it can taste, so you can really taste all the difference inside the filling. Next, we're gonna add about half a tablespoon of black pepper. Next, we're gonna add 3 teaspoons of soy sauce. And then we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of toasted cinnamon oil. And now we're gonna add 1 pound of ground pork. And then we're going to mix it all together. And now that our dough has finally finished rising, you want to take like about an inch of dough, like so. And you want to flatten it really flat until it's really thin. You could use a roller pin or like a cup to roll it out. I'm just gonna use my hands to flatten it. If you think it's all sticky, then you can also add some flours to your hands so it can make it less sticky. So you really want to like have this really thin so that all the filling can fit in and you have enough to, you have it so thin that you can pinch it all together and make sure all the fillings in there. Once you have like something like this, like circle, you want to start grabbing your filling, put it in, and start by closing in the middle. And you want to start by pinching this side and folding it, and same with the other side. And that's how you create your own dumpling. Right. Next, you want to boil water. You want to have the boiling water for about medium high. And you just cook it for about 10 to 15 minutes. And once it starts floating up, which you can see there, that means that it's ready. And today we are sponsored by X's. This is an energy drink. It has low calories and it doesn't have sugar on it, which is really nice. This one's my favorite flavor, black cherry cola. And there's also different kinds of flavors. There's also some that doesn't have caffeine on it. This one just doesn't have it has 0 sugar and it has B vitamins, which is good. And there's also other flavors, like there's blood orange, there is also matcha, there's mocha, there's also orange, and it comes from natural flavors. And this one has like just 15 calories, which is really nice. And you can go check these out in the Amway website, where you can get like a full box of them, or you can just get a single one like this one. And that's how we make dumplings like these. You could
I boiled mine, but you can also fry them. So hope you enjoy making these and then eating them because they are really good. And yeah.
that's fine. Actually, that kind of works with our impromptu. Grab your water bottle and spit your gum out.
Count it as long as the studio full of
Go that way. Go that way. I heard you. Hey Ryan, can you want this audio right now? Yeah, actually.
We here at Ectoplasmic Explorers determine viewer submission of the paranormal activities. That means viewers like you can have the chance to submit your paranormal activities.
Pardon this interruption, but we have technical difficulties,
Yeah,
and there's a
sorry
band
about
over there that is playing loud music. We have a whole orchestra just playing our music, you know? That's great.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
fantastic.
Fantastic for this amazing broadcast.
So anyway, like I was saying, we here at the Ectoplasmic Explorers determine viewer submission of the paranormal activities. That means viewers like you can send in any footage that you find or experience of paranormal activities near you. And we decide whether it's ectoplausible or ghosted.
Ghosted.
Get it?
Yeah, ghosted, right. Yeah. Since we're ecto explorers, are we ectoplasmic again? What is that again? What is ectoplastic?
You seriously wanted to do the show?
Yeah. It was your idea initially.
Okay. Ectoplasm is like a scientific word for what ghosts are made of. And we can't really do ghost explorers because the word ghost is offensive to the deceased.
Oh. Okay. All right. Noted. With that being said, let's jump in our first video.
I'm rolling.
Okay. Am I in focus?
You are in focus.
Okay, cool. Yo, check out this amazing view of the Green Bay River at night. Yo, did you see that over there? No, quick, look.
What?
I could have swore I saw something.
What do you mean?
No, I swear I saw something. We need to go back in the footage right now.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Go. Now, you may have noticed I was actually in this submission because we had run into our own anomaly a few nights ago.
Right, exactly. As you saw, we were trying to get this amazing, great shot of the Green Bay River when Rick here noticed a spectral figure on the docks. And after looking over the footage multiple times, we still saw that there was amazing, no evidence or foul play on our cameras.
And we're showing our experience here because we want to inspire you as a viewer that no matter where you are or when you were, you might have found evidence and it might be plausible.
And that with being dead, and with that, we will deem this clip as ectoplausible.
This video series is sponsored by the great M150 energy drink. Hey Ken!
Yeah, what's up?
Did you know the M150 is a non-carbonated energy drink locally sourced in Thailand?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. This video series is sponsored by the great M150 energy drink. Hey Ken!
Yeah, what's up?
Did you know the M150 is a non-carbonated energy drink locally sourced in Thailand?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, their motto is courage, devotion, and sacrifice. That's a weird motto, right Ken? Right. With 50 milligrams of caffeine in each bottle, this beverage is perfectly safe to chug for a quick energy boost without indigestion caused by carbonation. But wait, there's more. Not only does the M150 give you the energy you need to tackle your day, but it comes with a delightfully fruity, sweet taste that's simply irresistible. Not only does the M150 give you the energy you need to tackle your day, but it comes with a delightfully fruity, sweet taste that's simply irresistible. So whether you're gearing up for a busy day at work, hitting the gym for an intense workout, or embarking on your next big adventure, ensure you've got an M150 by your side to keep you energized and refreshed. Warning, this product is not suitable for children, pregnant or nursing women, or persons sensitive to caffeine. Thanks for tuning in, folks, and remember, when it comes to fueling your energy, trust M150 to keep your devotion. No!
Yes.
Producer, help!
Yes.
Help!
Yes.
Come here!
No.
Stop it!
No, I need it.
No! This isn't you!
I need it.
This
I
isn't
need
you!
it. I need
This
it.
isn't you!
I need it.
No.
I need it.
Security! Well, we're back, and not a moment too soon. We just received a submission from Helen M. So let's go ahead and take a look.
That was really interesting footage
Yeah.
that was right there. So Helen M. saw that we posted on social media about that we saw something on the docks, and that was about a few hundred feet south of where we were standing.
Yeah, it was weird. I've actually been in that place before. There was
Yeah.
a lovely cafe / bar right next to it.
Yeah, there's that bike shop right there, and I think that is the wheelchair accessible in order to get on the dock where we saw that.
True, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of near that path, and I guess we didn't go down that alley because we got so spooked.
Yeah, we had just, we recorded the thing, we saw the ghost,
Yeah.
or I saw the ghost.
Yeah, you did.
And we kind of just like ran home, so I guess we kind of missed out on that.
I guess we did. So I guess here's the thing is, do we have to say that there's a ghost on the docks at Green Bay's river?
Maybe. I mean, we have 2 videos that suggest that yes, there is.
Yeah? There is now, I know for sure, there was some CC footage from the local business of the bike shop that sent in their submission, and let's watch that right now.
Okay. Yeah, so I did not see that before. That was very close to the place where Helen had sent in her.
That was the same day.
The same day, really?
I checked the logs. The producer just told us while we were watching that video, it was the same day, and it was within the same night that Helen saw that ghost. So what if we were around the same time the ghost saw us, and it got spooked, and it ran past Helen, and it went up or down that handicapped ramp?
You bring an excellent point. I mean, if they were both at the same, the same time, the same night, and you have 2 or even 3 totally separate people having video of ghost or spectral evidence, I think I know what my answer is going to be for this.
Ectoplasmal?
Ectoplasmal.
Ectoplasmal. Ectoplasmal?
Ectoplasmal.
I found out our producers got a juicy opportunity to interview an anonymous, very, very sketchy photographer that did not want their identity to be announced.
Ooh, sounds
because they just, legally, but also he's a conspiracy theorist. And so they got on a call, our producers.
Yep.
And they got this amazing footage of just a few photos and video of the anomaly in the parking garage.
In a parking garage?
And that parking garage, the producer tracked that information down. It was a few blocks from where we were standing the same night.
Really?
I know. It's really juicy.
That's crazy.
Should we take a look to that interview? An
Absolutely.
Exclusive interview.
Yeah,
this is an
absolutely.
exclusive interview with Ectoplasmic Explorers. Let's take a look at that interview of the parking garage.
No cameras, nothing hidden here.
You're gonna destroy my audio too, right? I don't want anyone knowing about my identity, okay?
No, just like tell me what you saw a few nights ago.
I was taking a stroll, taking some photos. I like to do that. It's part of my nightly routine. I live down in the area, and this parking garage really caught my eye. And yeah, so I snapped a photo. Everything at first seemed pretty normal, all but board. And then I zoomed in, and I saw a shadowy figure. He was on the top row of the parking garage. It was only, his head just was peeking out from above the railing, and I don't know what it could have been. I'm really freaked out about this, man. Like, this is just between us, off the record. Off the record. Yeah, especially living down there, it's really concerning. I don't know who it was. I don't know what. I'm not a believer in ghosts, but.
Well, thanks so much for coming on the call and face to face at the Scott shop. We'll make sure to get this right evidence to the right ectoplasmic explorers, and we'll make sure you're anonymous. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, that's just so freaky. You know, you have the ghost just sitting up there on the upper levels of the parking garage. It's very creepy, and I'm glad our producers had got that interview too.
Mm-hmm.
It's
yeah. I can't believe they were able to get that exclusive interview with that anonymous photographer. I'm not sure who that man is. He's just a gray blob to me, but I'm so glad he was able to get this amazing just live interview and get that actual photographs to prove that we might have a ghost in the Green Bay area that is snooping about in the last few nights. And, you know, I'll be darned that my socks are knocked off because of this, right?
Right.
Well, I guess, what else do you got? What else do you got, Rick?
I mean, nothing much. It's just, it's kind of hard to deny that all these videos have taken place within the same time frame of just a few nights.
Mm-hmm. So you know what we have to do?
Yeah, I think I do.
We're gonna have to get viewer submissions. So if you're out on these nights, please go ahead and type into our website ectoplasmic explorers. I don't know.
Yes.
I just work here, and you could be able to have your content plausible, well, ectoplausible.
Yeah, ectoplausible
or
ghosted.
And so, Rick, what do you got for us? Serve us up. Come on. I'm ready.
Hey.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Oh, you're
Come
ready.
on, serve me up.
Yeah. All right. So with that video, I think we can both agree that
Yes.
we're gonna
say the line.
Yeah.
Ectoplausible. Do you have any other submissions from our lovely viewers on this channel?
Why, yes, I do, in fact. We actually have a few photos. I'm not sure if it's going to be from the same photographer.
No.
But we have some photos of the...
Right. Of
ghostly
what? Of ghostly
appearance.
Oh my gosh. So let's go and check out that photo right now. What are we looking at here, Rick?
You know, this is actually at the Green Bay area. You can see the bridge in the background with all the lights.
Yeah. It's really blurry around the edges. Do you think that's from artifacting, or what do you think that's from?
I don't know. It might have been an old camera.
Oh, an old camera. Yeah, it looks really vintage with that kind of like hazy vignetting in the back corners. I think from what I'm hearing right now from our producer, it was captured by a Dustin. And I guess like a Dustin, that's from his old film camera, and he was walking around a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So this was because the film got, developed.
Yeah.
And so it was really interesting on how it was been a couple weeks, you know.
And what was that?
What's that? What? Okay. Are you getting something different than I am?
I
Who's
don't-
our other producer? Kevin? Wait, I thought we fired him.
No. See, I got something in.
Yeah?
Dustin, when he went to, film, he went to go and, that.
Yeah, take photos.
Yeah, he went to take photos. That was not in the camera when he took the photo. When he got the photos developed in a store nearby, he just saw that.
So it's almost like our camera.
Exactly.
Huh. That's interesting. What do we would say? Is it ghosted or ectoplausible?
I am not sure. We can't really trust this Dustin character.
I know we really can't trust him.
But for the sake of, I like to believe in people.
Maybe, do we say it's ectoplausible because of the evidence that we're building against this?
Yes.
And it's in the same location.
Same area.
Yeah.
I know. I think we'll have to.
So thank you so much, Dustin, for sending that amazing film photo. Feel free to post that to Instagram. Tag us down below. What do we say about that?
We say it's
ectoplausible.
All right, and I do have one more photo.
You do?
Yeah, for us to look
Drum roll,
over.
please. Let's go. Drummers in the back. Let's go. All right.
They're not there.
No, they're not.
Of
No,
course.
sorry. We lost our budget, The wife took the kids.
Anyway, so let's get into that photo, shall we?
Whoa.
Oh,
wait. I've seen
okay.
those trees before.
Really?
Yeah. We walked past those trees to go to Mad Chicken, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
That was some good chicken.
That was really great chicken. The mac and cheese. Oh, so good. Now, what are we seeing here, Rick, again?
Well, honestly, this looks like the entry to like an underground parking garage of like a building.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So, hey, producers, could you throw that back up? Sorry, we're still just kind of examining. Is that a snow pile right next to it, over to that right side, or is that more of the ghost? Is that his partner or husband or
It
wife?
looks like he's blowing a cloud.
Yeah, it does look like a cloud, but I think ultimately that's in the same area.
Yeah.
So, audience.
And I do have no additional information. It was just taken in the same area. We have no idea if it was the same night.
Yeah. I think we're getting reports right now from our buddy Kevin, which Kevin's in the back, turns out. Kevin.
I thought he was fired.
Kevin got hired while we were talking.
Oh, okay.
That, he told us he was the one that took the photo, and that's why he took the photo.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was proper evidence.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
exactly. So, Kevin, thank you so much from our part of our
Yeah,
team.
thank you, Kevin.
You're hired again. We'll agree to your terms and everything that you need to do. And what do we say?
I say it's
Ectoplausible.
All right, and with that, folks, I think it's time for us to wrap everything up.
Yeah, I think we really appreciate you for sticking around this long with us. And until the end, remember, stay safe and happy hunting. Happy hunting? Happy hunting.
Happy hunting.
Everybody have a fantastic night.